morning began with a quiet walk through a garden near my hotel. It was raining softly. A little later, I was on my motorcycle, riding towards Beratan Lake. That's when I met Imam, who would be my boatman that morning. As we moved further into the lake, the temple began to reveal itself. Ulun Danu Beratan, the tiered roofs, the umbrellas, the flowers. It was simply exquisite. I'd seen this view so many times before, in photographs, in travel books. And that's when I realized I was actually in Bali. For a moment, it felt like a dream had somehow become reality. I couldn't stop looking at the temple. A ritual was taking place. People dressed in beautiful traditional clothes, moving quietly through the grounds. There was something mystical about this place, where Hindu gods and ancient beliefs seemed to come alive. The temple seemed to unfold in layers, rising above the water. As the boat gently swayed, I found myself mesmerized by the beauty of the lake. After packing up my stuff and having breakfast, I left Bedugul. As I passed the lake again, my thoughts went back to Imam. He was only 18, originally from Java, and had come to Bali with his mother, who ran a small warung near the lake. When he heard about my motorcycle journey through Java, he told me about his own dream. One day, when he was older, when he had earned enough and had a house of his own, he wanted to ride a motorcycle all the way to Timor. It was such a simple dream, but there was something beautiful in the way he spoke about it. Perhaps because, at 18, he still believed in a future he hadn't seen yet. I silently wished that someday he would get there. And as the kilometers slowly passed, I found myself thinking about dreams, how they begin quietly, sometimes as nothing more than a thought, a place we've never seen, a life we've never lived. Yet somehow, we carry them with us, waiting for the day they become real. After leaving Bedugul behind, I passed through Juvuklegi. And slowly, the surroundings began to change. The road became quieter, the traffic thinned out, and I found myself heading deeper into the hills. I was now passing through Pelaga Village. Simple, colorful homes lined the road, surrounded by lush greenery. Everywhere I looked, there were little details. Flowers, gardens, small shrines, and little pockets of life tucked away among the trees. And then, between the homes, the rice fields opened up. Layers of green stretching across the hills, with narrow paths winding through them. Everything felt calm here, just everyday life, surrounded by an incredible landscape. Somewhere along this road, lined with Balinese gods and frangipani trees, I stopped for a quick lunch, a short break, and then back on the road. Soon the road began to descend, towards one of Indonesia's tallest bridges. After crossing the bridge, the road began to rise again through greenery, and through the trees, a split gate appeared, welcoming me into the Kintamani Highlands. The landscape continued to stretch out around me, but the sky had begun to change. The blue was slowly disappearing, replaced by heavy gray clouds gathering overhead. I could feel the rain coming, and soon it was time to meet an old friend once again, a friend who had kept me company through so much of Indonesia. The rain. Riding through the rain, the narrow road eventually opened onto the highway. The road was covered in mist, and the air had turned cooler. It curved gently through tall trees, with the rain continuing to fall around me. I was hoping to catch a glimpse of Mount Batur, but with the rain and mist, there was nothing to see. For just a moment, there was a break in the layers of grey clouds, so I stopped at a small warung by the road, and from there, through the rain, I finally caught a glimpse of Mount Batur. After letting the rain calm down, I started the ride again. I was now heading towards the Black Lava viewpoint. After riding for a while, the road curved away from the highway and began descending downhill. It was a narrow, winding road, with one curve after another. And with every turn, the view of the volcano became clearer. The grey clouds were still hanging around, mixed with patches of white clouds, and blue skies stretching across the horizon. The rain had stopped, and in the pleasant afternoon air, I continued riding towards the base of the volcano. As I approached the viewpoint, the landscape suddenly turned black, with patches of green scattered across the lava. The contrast was stunning. I walked around, taking in this unusual landscape, then stopped for a coffee. Nearby, a child, a cat, and a dog played together, completely at ease, with this incredible volcanic landscape in the background. After soaking in the peaceful, relaxed atmosphere here, I continued my journey towards the Batur Lake. The road took me through Songan Village, where small homes and patches of green lined the way. The pace was slow, and everything felt wonderfully quiet. Along the way, I found a small hotel where I decided to stop. I unpacked my things, rested for a while, and took a little time to recharge. As the sunset approached, I rode down to the lake and found a peaceful spot to take in the view. On one side, green hills surrounded the lake, their reflection making the water look even greener. Ahead, blue, gray, and white clouds stretched across the sky, meeting the green hills in the distance. And throughout the evening, one curious cat kept me company. As the golden hour approached, the light was getting more beautiful, and I thought a boat ride would be the perfect way to enjoy the evening. The ride took me to the ancient-looking Ulun Danu Bangli Temple, and then towards a golden statue of Goddess Danu. In the distance, Gunung Abang appeared through the clouds, with mist sweeping down almost to the lake. Across the water, Gunung Batur was completely covered in clouds. The golden light of the setting sun slowly spread across the lake, turning the water into shades of gold and orange. The clouds kept drifting over the mountains, changing the view every few moments. My boatman kept telling me funny stories, which made the peaceful ride even more enjoyable. As the boat slowly made its way back, I found myself thinking about the day. It felt almost perfect that my morning had started with Beratan Lake, and my evening was ending here at Batur Lake. Two different lakes, two completely different moments, but both had their own kind of beauty. Soon, the boat ride came to an end, and I got back on my bike. The ride back to the hotel was peaceful, with the last light of the evening following me along the road. By the time I reached the hotel, the day had finally begun to slow down. I sat down for a simple local meal and had a lovely conversation with a friendly chef. After a day filled with riding, rain, mountains, and lakes, it felt like a beautiful way to end the journey.